Why I will never be engaging in PvP in Final Fantasy XIV. Well, not really, but this is a topic that's been playing on my mind a lot as a veteran PvPer. As someone who played exclusively PvP games, who PvP'd in World of Warcraft for like 11 years or something, you know, the glory days and all of that. This has been something that's been on my mind a lot. How am I going to approach PvP and the PvP scene and stuff like that in Final Fantasy XIV? Do I even want to explore it? I've been thinking a lot about all of the things that I want to achieve and pull off and partake in the game, you know, because there's so much to do in Final Fantasy XIV, and then I got thinking about PvP, and man, let me tell you something, I am frightened. I'm frightened of trying out PvP in FF14. So this video is just going to be me unpacking a shitload of thoughts. It might be really interesting for a lot of you guys who have subscribed to the channel somewhat recently, just when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV, and it might enlighten you as to some of the history of this channel and some of the things that the longer subscribers and I have been through together in years gone by. So first of all, straight up, there's something about me that gets triggered when someone tells me that I can't do something. That's a pretty pertinent thing to know, okay? And I know you guys can fucking meme it up in the comments. Oh, I bet you can never try PvP in FF. Ruffle them out, we're gonna get him to try PvP, you know? Not like that, but when someone tells me that something is just not possible, when something tells me that something can't be done, when something tells me that I can't do something, I don't have what it takes to pull off this challenge or to complete this whatever it is, I get obsessive as fuck. I remember the first ever PvP montage that I watched and was absolutely blown away by back in the day when I first started playing World of Warcraft. It was Drake Dog 7, and it inspired the shit out of me. I'd never recorded a video before, I'd never done anything before like that, I never produced a video before, I'd never recorded any of my gameplay before ever, and I was a total fucking noob, right? But I knew that I wanted what Drake Dog had, okay? There was a lot of vanity in it. I was like, man, I want to be that warlock that people think of in World of Warcraft when they think of the most crazy, badass, inspirational PvPer who pulls off insane things in the game, who fucking destroys the allies, you know? I want to be that guy with the sick music in the videos and all of that stuff. I wanted that. I wanted the glory. I wanted the fame. Little did I know what the fuck I was getting myself into. When the journey began, I started making videos, right? I started engaging with the PvP community a lot as soon as I hit max level. I was garbage as hell. It took me like 2-3 expansions to get to a place where I look back and think, you know what, I actually kind of knew what I was doing at this point. But long story short, after a few years of making videos, we started actually building up some traction on YouTube. My videos started to become a thing that were kind of expected by the community. Oh, what's Cobrak gonna do with this expansion, you know? The Destruction Warlock montage maker that he is. How is he gonna pull it off this time when Destruction Warlocks suck in Cataclysm, you know? Or are just really not good right now. And that was something I really prided myself on as well, by the way, is being a huge fucking hipster when it comes to picking my class in an MMO. I'd actively avoid following the herd. You know what I mean? I would actively avoid that shit. I found that I would take a massive amount of pride in sticking with my class no matter what. And in fact, when my class sucked and was garbage and was trash, I secretly enjoy that even more, because then people would say, well, there's no way he's going to make a montage this expansion. There's no way he's going to make a new Cobrak movie this expansion. It's not possible. Destruction Warlocks are so bad. How could he possibly ever pull it off? And I would fucking kill myself with effort and strain, and I would play 10 hours a day, farming footage non-stop until I made that fucking montage happen, you know, and I used to take a lot of pride in that, right? Anyway, I've started building a bit of a reputation, man. We made so many Cobrak movies, so many Cobrak montages, you know, that we became a bit of a household name in the Warlock community, which was really fucking cool, you know? But there was a bit of a flip side to that as well, which I'll get into in just a little bit. Because as I say, you know, the videos started succeeding. We started getting videos with like hundreds of thousands of views and stuff, which was crazy as hell, you know, crazy as hell. And at length, after having a lot of success with these videos and things popping off and, you know, amazing comments pouring in and people being hyped and excited for the next video, something obviously and predictably began to happen where I started to feel more and more obliged, really, more like I really owed something to the viewers in terms of I gotta keep on pulling these goddamn videos off. I gotta keep... Not only do I need to start pulling these videos off consistently every expansion and just really start blowing people's minds with the kind of stuff we were pulling off in the Battlegrounds and in PvP, but it became increasingly important to me that the quality of the videos just got better and better and better with every single installment. Now, I'm not just talking about the goddamn editing side of things and the music side of things and things like that, because that's all really important as well, and that was obviously a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes, but I'm talking about just the gameplay in general. I swear to God, you can't even believe, well, I'm gonna tell you just how goddamn obsessive I got over this kind of stuff, man. Over this kind of stuff, because it's like when you got that many people, that many subscribers waiting for the next video, excited for the next video to see what you've been working on and what you're gonna pull off next, you know, and every movie would get more and more and more views, to the point where Cobrak 17 got like 1 million plus views. Ridiculous numbers. And what's really crazy about Cobrak 17, by the way, the 17th installment, was that that movie was actually made in sync, and I was actually in like a Skype call way back in the day with Drake Dog. And we released our movies. He released, like, I think it was like Drake Dog 10. At the same time, I released Cobrak 17. And it was like, I completed the game. The guy who inspired me to begin making montages and making PvP videos in the first place, I'd eventually reached a stage where he was more than happy. He was excited. He was hyped to be releasing a video alongside me, you know, and we were trading artists and music, and there was a lot of crossover between the two different the musics that we'd use and all of those things. And it was like, man, we reached a point where things were so big that this was like a sport to me. You know what I mean? It was a goddamn sport, and I took it that seriously. Now I'm talking, man, I'd read like the new patch notes for the next World of Warcraft patch, and the only thing I would give a shit about, right, when it came to the class design of Warlock, and in specific Destruction Warlock, because that's obviously the talent build that we played, the only thing I'd care about is what tools do I have to 2v1 and 3v1 idiots in Battlegrounds. That's all I cared about, dude. I'd look through the other classes, okay, what have they lost? What survival cooldowns have they lost? What interrupts now have a longer cooldown? What do I need to know to maximize my chances of 2v1ing and 3v1ing fools? I didn't care about arenas. I didn't care about like competitive PvP. I didn't care about PvE, obviously. Any kind of side content, garrisons, which were like Blizzard's bad attempt at player housing. I didn't care about anything besides recording good clips. It's the only fucking thing that meant to me. What do I mean by good clips? Because this is another thing, dude. I would get so obsessive about the quality of the clips that I was recording that regular 2v1s, not good enough anymore, man. Not good enough anymore. They didn't mean shit. What, I killed 2 idiots, 2 versus 1? Well, first of all, one of them was under-geared, and the goddamn mage didn't use his ice block in this 2v1 clip. Useless. Useless, right? It became important to me that my opponents would be playing at least at an average level. So like the skill level of my opponents became important as well. And every movie just had to be better and better and better. And I actually remember distinctly a few times, man, I'd be going through like the footage that I've recorded, so I'll have like 40 clips that I've recorded over like 10 hours. Because when I was recording for a video, man, it would be like 10 hours every single day, you know, in Battlegrounds, music blaring in my fucking earphones, in the goddamn zone, hyper laser focus, you know. Dude, let me tell you something, man, because I've been fucking PvPing for so long. I played thousands, tens of thousands of Battlegrounds, you know, tens of thousands of Battlegrounds. It got to the point where I realized that if my team, the Horde, was slightly losing the Battleground, then I would have more space on the map to more easily locate like 1 to 3 alliance players at a time, which was much better for me recording versus if the Horde was slightly winning or if the Horde was winning. So I would like deliberately not partake in the Battleground. I try to engineer it in such a way that the Horde was slightly losing, but that we'd win in the end. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be more likely to get me the clips that I was looking for, you know? It was more likely that I get the footage that I was looking for. I didn't care about winning or losing, really, until like the last 30 seconds of the BG. I even remember as well, I would literally hide in the bushes, because before like the battleground starts in World of Warcraft, there's like a 1.5 minute or so waiting period before the gates open and the battle actually begins. It gives people time to load in. I would hide from every other player in the hopes that they wouldn't look at the raid profiles, you know, and see Cobrak's here. Wait a minute, that's Cobrak. Could that be the real Cobrak? You know what I mean? Because if they recognize me, they'd follow me around the BG, man. And they'd ruin the fucking clips, you know? So it's like, I'd fucking hide from players in the BG and try to hide my shit. And it like, dude, shit was crazy, man. And like I was about to say, I'd get to a point where I'd be looking through all of the clips, all of the recordings, and Sophie would be behind me, you know, maybe getting some food, or she's like, whatever, you know, getting a drink, she's behind me, she's kind of screen watching as I'm going through the clips, and I'd be deleting like 2v1s. Like 2v1 clips that would have been good. Like last expansion I would have accepted those, but now it's got to be better. It's got to be better. It's got to be better, you know. And Sophie's like, "What? That's a perfectly good clip." I'm like, "No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, man. It's got to be better. I can do better than that. This guy made that mistake, but I'm not happy with this clip. It's got to fucking go, you know." And it was just an absolute goddamn obsession. It was a goddamn obsession, dude. As the last little fucking anecdote, this is the last one because we've gone about this for a long time, but I just really want to paint the picture of what I was like for 10 years while playing World of Warcraft, man, because this is what it was like, and it just got more and more and more crazy, more and more intense as time went on. There was a clip, it's a legendary clip, I'll never forget recording this, dude. I'll never forget recording this, man, and how frustrated and despondent I was in my efforts at trying to record this one clip, because things had to keep getting crazier, right? Things had to keep getting more insane. We had to pull off something new and just never seen before in every single video, you know? And so World of Warcraft players will understand why this is so fucking crazy and why this is such an improbable thing. Honestly, man, try and do this yourself as a WoW player, you know, if you still play. You'll see how fucking stupid of an idea this was and how hard this is to actually pull off in practice. Basically, I wanted to mount the Alliance gunship in a battleground, which I didn't even know if that could be done, honestly. So I had to figure that out and see if using all of the tools I could possibly think of and theory crafting, and see if this was actually doable, see if I could actually access the enemy team's gunship. Turns out you can. Turns out there's a bunch of elite NPCs on there that you've got to kill and clear up before the enemy team captures the outpost and blah 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 blah. And there's a billion things that, and they have to recapture the outpost to access their gunship. It was like there are a billion things that can go wrong before you even get started while trying to record this clip. And then you gotta record something decent while you're on the fucking gunship, you know? And I had the stupid bright idea of like jumping off after an Alliance player, after they like parachute off their fucking gunship, and I was gonna jump after them, and I was gonna record this amazing clip where I'm activate my cast while moving ability, you know, Kill Jaden's Cunning it was called, and I'm on my goddamn glider and I'm chasing them through the air and I shoot them down out of the air, like mid-flight, you know? And it was, oh, what a bright idea that was, you know? I thought, yeah, I can get that in like a couple of days. Yeah, it took like 2 months. Probably about 5 weeks. 5 weeks where all day, every fucking day, I'd get up, eat breakfast, record for like 12 hours trying to get this goddamn clip, fail miserably, eat some supper, then go to bed. And I wake up again, and I do the same thing the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it took like 5 weeks, and sunk cost fallacy, you know? Well, I've been trying for 3 weeks. Surely it's gonna happen tomorrow, you know? So I tried again, and I tried again, and I eventually got it. And it was like, man, it was an incredible feeling to get that clip, but I could never put myself through something like that again, man. Editing and creating and recording the video that turned out to be Cobrak 17 was just, I would not wish that experience on anybody. Straight up, man, I wouldn't. And I appreciate the momentous amount of views that this video ended up getting, man. Like, we're talking, well, like 1.5 million or something at this point, you know, because it still accrues some views to this day, which is unbelievable. All of the music copyrighted in it now, so I don't earn a penny from their video anymore, and I haven't for a long, long time. But whatever, dude, the legacy's been left behind, you know? So, bringing this back to Final Fantasy XIV, you guys might have heard me talking about Final Fantasy XIV as a retirement home, right? It's a retirement home for MMO players. And, you know, you could read that in a bad light, but I mean that in the nicest, best way possible. I never thought I'd get to play an MMO where I don't feel compelled to compete, where I don't feel compelled to race. You know what I used to do, man? Like, the Endwalker expansion is coming up for Final Fantasy XIV, right? And there's a lot of excitement about it. The MSQ is going to get continued. New trials, new glamour. I think there's going to be so much amazing new stuff to do, and I still got so much stuff to catch up on as well that I'm so excited to do. And this is going to be the first MMO expansion I'm ever going to play that's like a new release that I don't just sit on my ass for 20 hours and just level to max and do everything that I possibly can in one sitting. Every single WoW expansion, apart from Cataclysm because I fell asleep like a fucking noob, but every single WoW expansion I ever played through, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. The expansion would come out, it would get released, and I would play for 15 hours, 20 hours, however long it took to level all the way to max and blast through the content as quick as possible and level my professions and get ready for PvP, because you know the next montage had to be recorded as soon as possible, and any head start that I could get was fucking all that mattered to me, you know? It was all that mattered to me. And I can't wait for Endwalker to come out and to not feel compelled to blaze through everything, man. It's going to be such a goddamn trip. So when I describe Final Fantasy XIV as a retirement home for MMO players, I really do mean that in the best way possible. And I'm afraid that if I try PvP and I get the PvP bug again, and I get into that shit, I'm just a hyper-competitive, obsessive bastard, man, when it comes down to it. When it comes down to it, I am. And I can't turn that off. When I enter a PvP situation, I can't turn that off. I'm always looking, man, I'm always looking at the goddamn raid profiles just to check, even today, like, what's my DPS like? How am I shaping up against the rest of the group right now, you know? And I can't turn it off, I can't stop it. And it's like, if I'm like 4th on DPS, like 4th on aggro, you know, and the raid profiles in FF, I'm like, man, I gotta fix my shit. What am I doing wrong? You know, I get quietly obsessive about even that, man. There it is, you know. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do in Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of things that I want to complete. And one of you guys actually asked as well, you know, as someone who has a, like, this kind of competitive and something of a completionist streak, who likes to set goals in games and stuff, how are you going to handle that in Final Fantasy XIV, given that you don't have like 10 hours a day to play, right? Because obviously I have other things going on these days, right? I'm not just fucking hammering games for 10 hours a day anymore, not even close. So what things am I looking to complete? What things am I looking to not complete? What am I looking to sideline, man? And I think PvP is just going to be one of those things, man, that largely I sideline. And if I do try PvP, it would be very specifically for something like a glamour. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that there's some pretty cool PvP glamours anyway. I haven't really looked into it, I gotta be honest, but if I do, I'm just gonna have to set myself very specific things that I want, and then just leave it there. If I do try a PvP, I don't even know if I'm gonna make a goddamn video on it. I might just leave that to the imagination. I think I just know myself well enough to know that I'm not gonna be able to do it casually, man. I'm not gonna be able to do it casually. I can't do that. I'm fucking incapable, man. I can't do it. I fall into the trap all the time. Man, you know, I'm not going to go into more examples. I'm not going to do it, because most of this video has just been one huge example of why I'm an obsessive bastard, you know? So I think you guys get the picture, right? I don't want to risk that. I don't want to tarnish that. I don't want to colour my Final Fantasy XIV experience with PvP. And with that chance of getting sucked into that fucking rabbit hole, man. I think more than anything, right now, I'm enjoying the insane width of content in Final Fantasy XIV. There are so many things to do, and so many things to engage with, and so many things to grind, if that's your thing, and glamours to attain, and goddamn side quests and professional. Man, there's so much stuff to do, you know? And that's something that I did not engage with at all in World of Warcraft as soon as I got involved with PvP, which is basically as soon as I hit max level, you know? I got involved with PvP, and that was the only thing that ever mattered, you know? Is it too much to say that I will never try PvP in Final Fantasy XIV? Probably. But you know what? It's an angle for a title and a thumbnail, and I thought it would be an interesting point of discussion in the comments. But I suppose I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and help me organize my own thoughts, you know, by saying these things out loud and putting them down into the context of a video. I just don't want to lose what Final Fantasy XIV is to me currently by getting sucked into the black hole that is my obsession with being fucking competitive as soon as I'm competing against other players, man. Anyways, I've been really interested to read the comments on this video, see what you guys think, see the difference between the comments of, you guys who've been subscribed to the channel for a long, long time, as well as you guys who've been very recently subscribed to the channel. Those of you who've been subscribed for maybe 4 or 5 months when we first started playing Final Fantasy XIV. Be interesting to hear all of your guys' thoughts on this. As already mentioned, I think this video is just more for me to kind of get my own thoughts out there and iron some things out in my own cranium, you know what I'm saying? So, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. Look forward to reading y'all's comments. Stay incredible, you lovely people. And I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.